I've just gotten back from voting in my first general election ever, and like many others, I have a lot of thoughts. I won't be sharing who I voted for, but you're more than welcome to speculate in the comments. Instead, I'd like to focus on the nature of this election campaign, because it was notably different from those in the past. Usually, we see a fair bit of movement in the polls over the 6 weeks of campaigning. Think Labour's comeback in 2017, for example, but this time, the gap between the two major parties remained almost identical. That's not to say there weren't any major events or policy announcements, as for the first few weeks, we seemed to get plenty of surprising announcements from the Conservatives, culminating in their very ambitious manifesto. This would usually be the tactic of opposition parties attempting to entice their base, but this time, it was the governing party that felt like the challenger. That meant they were willing to throw everything but the kitchen sink, hoping something would stick, which clearly hasn't been the case. And because of their commanding polling lead, Labour have been able to stay almost completely silent during this campaign, producing an ironically conservative manifesto in terms of its ambition, and also performing below expectations in TV debates without suffering any blowback. I think this speaks to the level of dissatisfaction felt towards the government, as the public feels comfortable rallying around a relative unknown to escape 14 years of Conservative rule. I also think this election is make or break for the voting system, as while we've always had a lack of representation of the popular vote in Parliament, this time it looks very possible that Labour could receive less than 40% of the vote, but still get a historically large majority in the House of Commons. If this doesn't alarm people about first past the post, I don't know what will. This election has also seen a lot of scandals surrounding candidates, most likely because of the surprise announcement of the election, meaning parties weren't able to properly scrutinise their nominees, which led to the betting scandal and multiple Reform candidates defecting to the Conservatives. So all in all, this election campaign has been a bit of a mess. But if you're comfortable with other people knowing, please let us know who you voted for and why in the comments down below. And before you go, if the election results are not yet out when you're watching this, we'll be covering and discussing them live at 9:30 PM. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you there.